What is up, guys? Blind Shot here, and we're back again for some more Yu-Gi-Oh for you guys. So for today, I will be doing kind of like a short sharing session or discussion session with you guys. So yeah, I am showing you the structure deck of the Lightsworn deck because I'm going to be talking about Lightsworn in general, and I'm just going to discuss why it's a really good for investment in terms of long-term stuff because. Number one, Lightsworns are a really powerful deck, and it is one of the, if not the best, it's one of the best graveyard user, I guess, in the game. So, without further ado, I will get started. Now, so if you guys didn't know, Lightsworns were introduced first in 2008 in Light of Destruction. That was the first booster pack they were introduced of. That was back in the day when Judgment Dragon was $120, I think, like for a copy, and it was crazy. Now it's got reprinted like a million times as a common. So yeah, back in their day, they're very powerful. Like they pretty much wrecked every single. I think they were tier 1 or tier 0 in their day, and yeah, and during that time, me and my team were very active in the game, and we always go to tournaments. And I kind of got interested in Lightsworns not because they're tier 1, not because it's meta, and not because it's tier 1. It's because I think they're cool. I think they have this RPG concept in them because they have they have like jobs and stuff, or like classes. And for me, like if a game has that kind of stuff, then it's already like a good game for me. So that's just my main reason why I love Lightsworns. So just to show you guys a few variations of, or a few reasons why it's a good investment for a long run. Because number one, the pure Lightsworns in this format in January 2015, they are now back in near full power. By that I mean Honest is back to 2. Would be really broken if he was back to 3. But yeah, Honest going back to 2 makes it much more playable, and you don't really have to depend on like luck drawing it because you have 2 copies of it now in your deck. As well as Necrogarna going back to 3, and well, Charge is still at 1, but it's still it's a pretty broken card. And also, like in the past booster pack, we also got introduced by some few supports such as Denko Sekka. Denko Sekka is a really good staple for Lightsworns now because remember that Lightsworns often don't play back row, and because we don't play back row, we can take a huge advantage of this card, like a lot. Like you can summon your Judgment Dragon and you don't have to like worry about it getting warninged or getting bottomless. Oh, not to mention that Judgment Dragon is still at 3, which is pretty great. So yeah, the introduction of Denko Sekka is really good for the deck. Now, but like most people know, Lightsworns will get wrecked in games 2 and 3 simply because it's a pure. If you go for a pure build, then of course you're running all light monsters, and the important part for Lightsworns is you mill and using their effects, because sometimes you can't 100% depend on this on Solar Recharge or Charge Your Light Brigade. So if your effects get locked, then the deck cannot function, and you will lose miserably in your locals. Especially now in today's meta, like clip horts are meaning 3 skill drains, and that's not a good idea. That's not a good thing for our deck. Now, another reason why it's good for investment is because it has lots, and I mean lots of variations. It doesn't have you don't have to go pure Lightsworns, but if you do purchase the deck, you buy 3 of these and you're good to go for a pure build. You have everything you need in this deck, except maybe for. Actually, no, you have everything in this deck. It even comes with a breakthrough skill. So yeah, you buy 3 of this, you're set. But that's not always the case, and that will not probably get you to top 8 in a regional, probably. So that's why this deck is good. Like overall, like during as the years go by, or as the formats go by, you get to enjoy other supports, because most of the supports nowadays, most meta supports involve dumping stuff to the graveyard and having their effects activate. So the very first support that I can show you guys, like I guess I can go chronological order, is the zombies. Zombies, if you combine zombies with Lightsworn, aka Zombie Sworns, they will become a spammable R4 slash synchro deck. If you run, you don't really need to run Plague Spreader anymore because you have Raiden and Minerva, but this deck will allow you to special summon lots of level 4 monsters and go for R4 plays. So you can easily turn your Lightsworn deck into an R4 spam deck using the zombie variant. Now you can also use the Skull Servants, so you can turn the deck into a strong beatdown deck with the King of Skull Servants, because Lightsworns do dump their effect involves dumping cards from your deck to the graveyard, and that's how the Skull Servants get powered. But like I said, Zombie Master is like another copy of Lumina that you have, and Mizuki, because we don't care how much we mill, we just want to mill as much as we can, then Mizuki will help you special summon more zombies from your graveyard if you banish from your graveyard. Okay, so that's one variation. The next variation that I can show you guys is the Light Rays, or the Lightsworns. The Light Rays are really good. They're all, call them baby Judgment Dragons, simply because their effects involves their summoning condition involves having light monsters with different names in the graveyard, except for Daedalus, and they'll all have really decent effects. Like Diabolos bounces a set card to either top or bottom. You get to choose, and then Daedalus gets to pop a field spell and pop 2 more cards in the field if you're up against a deck that uses field spells, such as Dark Worlds. And this guy, I think you need a warrior type. Yeah, so this works well with the Lightsworns because Garroth, Aaron, and Jane are all warrior type monsters, and you can utilize this effect of destroying a card. Is it a card? Oh no, it negates an effects. There you go. Yeah, so you can utilize them in the graveyard for if you use Light Ray Grepher. And because they're like I said, they're baby Judgment Dragons, you just special summon them if you have the condition, and you have easy access to really high attacking monsters. So it's really good. It's really good alternative to Judgment Dragon if you need to bait out back row, or if you need to gain more control. This is more of a aggro variation to the Lightsworn, because you summon, attack per game. So yeah, this is if you want to go aggro, then the Light Rays will be the variation for you. Another one would be that I can think of is the fairies, or back in one format they were known as the Christiasworn. The deck focuses on its milling power to dump fairies enough to summon a Christia, and Shire being one of the fairies, as well as Celestia. This card's really good, kind of like for beatdown. I know it's kind of have low attack, but eventually if it's late game, you summon it. Usually it has like 3200 attack. It's crazy, and yeah, this is I would say a lockdown variation of the deck, simply because Christia, when you summon Christia and your opponent needs to special summon, most decks nowadays need to special summon, then it's usually game. And because Christia is light, you can protect it by battle with Honest, and when it dies, it goes back top of your deck, and you can just find another way to summon it, because the Lightsworns really have really good access to summoning, and it kind of best supports this. But ever since there's one time when Christia went down, and the deck kind of slowed down a bit, so this variation was dropped. But for me, I still use this variation sometimes, and it's really good. It's really fun, especially when you combo it with Herald of Orange Light to help dump more fairies to your graveyard and help negate its effects. So yeah, this is the lockdown variation. If you guys want to do that, that's totally up to you. Now, if you guys are wondering, like, oh, you have like so much cards and variations and stuff. Believe it or not, instead of buying, instead of buying an entire full deck, you can just use just the key cards, and you just make them work with the Lightsworns, and that'll give you everything you need to have a functioning and competitive deck, and of course, most importantly, a fun deck. And this is one of the best variations of the Lightsworns so far, like in this format and in the previous format. The Dragon Rulers. The Dragon Rulers were the most dangerous archetype ever. Oh, it's not even an archetype. Like, it's people found a way to abuse them, so they were virtually indestructible during their format. Now, the Lightsworn Rulers is one of the, like I said, one of the best, because the Dragon Rulers, you don't really care if they're in your hand or in your graveyard, so you don't mind dumping endlessly to your graveyard. We even run sometimes Neil Bug Sealing for this to get our Eclipse Wyvern out. And if you guys didn't know what the variation does, it's basically a special summon aggro deck, because it focuses on getting really big monsters as well as getting your Judgment Dragons as fast as you can because of Eclipse Wyvern. Eclipse Wyvern, when it's sent to the graveyard, you banish the Judgment Dragon, then you use your Dragon Rulers to banish Eclipse Wyvern, and you get a free 28 and you get your Judgment Dragon. Sometimes you can even pull off, like if you can run Effect Veiler with these, so you can run level 8 synchros. Or if you use the Minerva and the Raiden, you can summon Star Eater and Leo, and those are basically more really strong monsters with really good effects. So yes, this is also one of the variations, and this is relatively cheap. Oh yeah, speaking of cost, yes, these cards are relatively cheap nowadays. The Dragon Rulers, they got reprinted a million times in the tin. Eclipse Wyvern got reprinted in the Premium Gold, and it came from a structure deck. I think the price went up for this because of the Shadows. As well as the Christia, the Zombies, and the Light Rays are commons and rares from Cosmo Blazer? I don't remember. Yeah, so this is one of the more powerful variations. And I still win, like I still top locals with with this deck, so yeah, just to add that to that. And last but not the least, my final variation is a fusion variation. Combining the Lightsworns with the Shaddoll. This is kind of like my default deck right now because I'm having so much fun with them. So yeah, ever since the Shaddolls, I like the Shaddolls because they kind of remind me of the Lightsworns because they're very combo oriented, and yeah, they do make good use of the graveyard, and they have really good effects individually. And now I combine that with the Lightsworns, and you have a one powerful engine of destruction. So yeah, that's why I love this variation so much. So yeah, we do now we can, because the Lightsworns can now make XYZs, synchros, and now we can make fusions with the Shaddoll. So Lightsworns is now I don't know, I'm just I guess I'm just waiting for a ritual variation, which hopefully we'll get soon. I'm not sure. I think maybe there is a ritual variation, but who knows. But yeah, yeah, the Shaddolls, no need to explain that. And I know some of my viewers, or some of you hate the meta, and so I'm not gonna go into that too much detail. But yes, you can have a Shaddoll variation of your deck. Now, in conclusion, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and hopefully it'll help you to learn more about how to invest properly in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a fast changing, evolving game. If you don't keep up, you're bound to not do well. And of course, make sure you guys keep yourselves updated with stuff. Even though if it's not your interest, make sure that you just know what's going on, so you can constantly update your own stuff. Like, I know for me, like, I'm a budget player, and right now I hate the meta because it's lame, it's boring, it's bland. And all you see is the same thing. It's like, Clipboard, Summers are Clipboard Scout, Summon Carrier, then Sacrifice, Set 2, and Turn. It's always the same. That's like 80% of the play of Clipboards. And yeah, it's kind of lame. So for me, I like to change stuff once in a while, so I never get bored of the game. And the Lightsworns for me, I think this is the best investment I ever had in this game, because I get to change it around once in a while. This is not limited to what I showed you guys. There's hundreds probably of of variations out there for Lightsworns that can combo well because of their really good graveyard support, or it helps helps archetypes that uses the graveyard, and they're their best support for that, in my opinion. Sorry. So hope you guys enjoy. Remember to like, comment, subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh videos. Well, have a great day, and we'll catch you guys later. Peace.